Welcome everybody to the JKeSport Tier 2. We're here from the Suzuka circuit in Japan today for round 20. I'm joined today by Elma Jacko in the commentary booth. How are you doing today, Jacko?
I'm very well, thank you. And how are you?
I'm pretty well. Excited to get this underway. In the chat, let us know how everything sounds. Should be all good for tonight's race. Around a difficult Suzuka circuit. How do you feel this one's going to go, Jacko?
Well, I really have no idea. I was trying to familiarise myself with the competitors in Tier 2, just to get a flavour of who I thought might be coming out on top. But I don't think I see the championship leader on the list, so that's a bit of a turn up for the books, I would say. Yeah, I don't see Smith in the Ferrari.
Exactly, that should throw a spanner in the works, and of course, only 2 points the difference between SC Smith and Shelly the Turtle at the top of the championship. Thanks guys in the chat for the confirmation, but we have our first outlaps on the way. Boyfort is leading in the Alpine. We've got a couple runners on the mediums, which is a bit of an interesting choice around this circuit. I wonder if we'll see them stick with that.
Yeah, a lot of people like to start their first run on mediums. I think that's common practice in many leagues. Personally, I don't do that, but a lot of people would like to keep a set of softs for the race in case there's a safety car or whatever happens. Even the weather might be a reason to do that, so I think it's not too surprising to see some mediums out on the track at this stage.
Perhaps, yes. The other thing that it allows you to do, it allows you to get sort of a warm-up lap in, a banker time, if you will, just to get used to the circuit before getting onto the soft tires, because track evolution will be a thing. It does look perfectly sunny for this session, but never know for the race here in Japan. Very difficult track to overtake, but there are quite a few places to get it done if you're daring enough, so I think that's going to make for some exciting racing tonight.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to Hungary in a way. Not quite Monaco levels, but there are some spots you can throw it down the inside, but it's always risky. Like turn one, I mean, we had a race here just a few days ago, Scavney and I, and I think there was a lot of action into turn one. That's not necessarily somewhere you want to do that, because you can end up with damage, both cars coming off or just one sometimes.
Of course.
Even into the chicane is a potential move, but again, very tight.
Of course, and we have our first hot lap of the session. Boyfort going into Sector 1. Why don't you take us for a lap of Suzuka, Jacko?
Sorry, who did you say you were on board with? I missed
Boyfort is in the Alpine.
Okay. Alright, well, we've missed about half of the first sector, and he gets... Oh no!
That's not
okay,
a
so
good start.
That's a lesson in what not to do.
We'll go on board with 30 slugs in the McLaren for our lap, making his Tier 2 debut tonight.
Oh boy. Okay, 30 slugs, here we go. Okay, he's negotiated turn 1 and turn 2 quite well. Now you want to go through these next S's without touching the inside curbs. Unfortunately the Alpine fell foul of that. You can still see it off to the right there. And there are yellow flags. I'm not sure whether the McLaren is going to necessarily slow down for them. He's kind of taking it a bit easy, so perhaps. And now through the Degner curves, very, very tough corners to get right. Very easy to invalidate there as well on both exit curbs, I'd say. Obviously Degner 2 there, he did not go too wide, and he won't be invalidated. Now into the chicane, the hairpin. Possible to make moves there, but again quite risky, as we now have 2 retirements. Silent Banshee also out of the session. And now a long run to its spoon curve, which is another place where you can become unstuck quite easily. If you go too wide on that curve, you can be invalid. If you go too far onto the inside curve on the second part, you can spin out. So now onto the long run to 130R as K-Dog goes to the top with the first lap of the session complete. 130R is a place that you don't want to be side by side. We've seen it done. It should be flat out, as the McLaren wasn't quite through there. But yeah, very tough if you're going side by side. And now through the final chicane, the Casino Triangle, I believe it's called. Look to get pretty good traction out of there. Probably want to hug the wall if you're in qualifying lap. But that was just a banker, I assume, from Dirty Slugs. Goes P4.
Yep, quite a few times on the boards now. You see VTEC top of the board on the medium tire. Interesting to see that strategy pay off. Chris Money, he's going to be the next to cross. We know he has shown some pace so far this season. His first time will go top of the board at 30.2, so very quick there from the McLaren driver.
Yeah, we're starting to see the times come down towards what I would have predicted. possibly going to see some 29s here. That's probably going to be around what pole is, a 29 something. I know the other gentleman in this commentary box, Gavney here, is capable of a 28, so you might see that in a few hours when we get the Tier 1 boys on track. But a 30.2 certainly nothing to scoff at here in Tier 2, and of course we don't know what the exact conditions are, so they may not be perfect for qualifying times.
And certainly the track will evolve as we approach the end of the session. The rubber gets laid down. Crusty RT jumps up to 7th with a 33.0. So a lot of tight times in that midfield so far. Just trying to check the next driver. Let's take along Monkey Mafia. He's making his return to Tier 2 tonight in the Aston Martin. Just on an outlap for the moment, but he will be the next driver to cross the stripe.
Yeah, he's on an outlap now, so he'll start the lap out of sequence from these other guys. Don't know if I would hug the wall on the outlap, but to each to their own. Monkey now approaching that fast turn 1. DRS automatically closes. It would be hellish if it didn't. Anyway, he's through turn 2 now, and now if he can just stay off the curbs, he should be on for a good sector 1.
Yeah, we've seen sector 1 is already tonight been quite the troublesome spot for these guys. I don't think it's going to get any better. It's going to be a bit of a game of survival through there, not necessarily pace as the race evolves tonight.
I actually saw some tire marks left through those last few S's that were clearly gravel strewn, so I wonder if that's going to lower the grip for those guys up the top of the hill. But Shelley there goes to a 29.5.
Yeah,
so
absolutely
de facto
massive.
Championship leader, I'm thinking, because you know he's racing and his opponent is only 2 points ahead, not racing.
Exactly.
That's looking pretty good for him.
He's got to do all he can to absolutely maximize those points tonight. I think we have Cross Your T's and Validate, so Monkey Mafia will be the next driver to set a valid time. He's looked pretty good through the first 2 sectors, but even a very short 3rd sector could be enough to throw a lap off.
Yeah, he's not got a lap time yet, so I think he's going for a bit of a banker. He has been a little cautious in some certain places that I've noticed this lap, but I think that's exactly what I would do without a lap set yet. And he's going to come across the line now. What will it be, a 30 point something? Yeah, 30.7.
Very solid time right there. I think we have... It's going to be Stephen A. who's next across the line, but that is only to be starting a lap. Oh,
Ray's on the lap, I think. He's
Ray?
about halfway through now at the hairpin.
Yep. Ray's had a good pace this season. He was race winner in Portimao and was near the front for most of the race in Hungary. So in both of those races, so definitely going to be one to watch out for tonight. We'll see what his qualifying pace is going to look like then.
Certainly a capable driver. I come across him not only here in JK but elsewhere, and in F2 for example he's been very quick in the past, so I would imagine this guy's going to be challenging towards the top 5 perhaps. Let's see where this lap's puts him.
Looking to be pretty good again on the soft tires.
A bit late on the brakes there though.
Yeah, like the entirety of the field. He did maximize all of the track through the chicane. Looked to be a bit squirrely on exit, but he does get up to the line at 30.3. But everybody's still chasing.
Cost him P2.
Definitely could with how tight this field is, but everybody's still chasing Shelly the Turtle, who's got 7/10 clear at the top of the board right now.
Yeah, Shelley's certainly looking very good. Turtle is a bit of a, I think it's to throw people off. You're supposed to be slow if you're a turtle, but he's not slow.
Yeah, he's doing a little reverse psychology trick right there.
Or is that a tortoise?
Pretty much,
Maybe
yeah.
turtles are fast underwater. Who knows?
Stephen A. He's, I believe, currently on a lap for Alpine. Does not seem to be pushing. Does not seem to be pushing there. So I think K-Dog, she's just starting her second hot lap of the session, going through the S section now. Starting to get the middle portion of qualifying. We should start to see the track evolution start to take shape and these times start to drop. Certainly a lot of these guys who could contend for that pole position as it stands.
Very true. I'm watching K-Dog now and she seems to be really, I think, a gear higher than a lot of these other people, so clearly focused on getting some good traction, and I think that's a very good strategy if you're concerned short shift out of the hairpin, very wise.
Exactly. Quite a lot of low traction zones around the circuit, so short shifting definitely key to helping out with that.
Also helps with fuel, obviously not in qualifying, but in the race it may be a factor if there's no safety cars and someone decides to underfuel, for example.
Just a couple more corners to negotiate. Now I believe we've got a few drivers on outlaps as well, so we'll track onto them as well. But out of the chicane and through the line, it's another very difficult traction zone. That is at full speed. So you see, improving to a 32.5 is still enough to ninth fastest at the moment. There is Knox. He is invalidated just behind.
Yeah, Kato actually came agonisingly close to P8 there, only about, what is that, 14 thousandths off the time of CAD.
Yeah, so just very small margins right now, as we've seen through this field most of this season. Stephen A, he had a banker time up already, but looks to be a very solid lap here. Let's see where he can land himself fourth fastest. So
anytime you can see yourself 29 seconds up on your personal best is fairly decent, I'd say.
That's always a bit of a motivational tactic right there. We've got Knox. He's invalidated the last lap, but he's pushing again on this lap. He was over a tenth and a half up through the first sector, so it looks to be improving. Heading up towards the hairpin now.
At the same time, we've got VTEC flying up through the end of the first sector. And yellow flag, actually. I think that might have been for traffic, just letting other people through.
Running down just the last few minutes approaching the last few minutes of the session here. Should see a few of these guys start to get out for their last runs momentarily. I think we're going to see quite a fanatic finish. There's quite a few guys who could have a shot at pole position, but Michelli looks to be in command at the moment. And here's Knox up to the line, jumps up to 8th fastest, so he breaks into the 131s. VTEC next across. Looks like he's backed off with his time.
Yeah, VTEC has backed off.
Crusty T is invalidated, so I think that will put Johnny as the next driver on a flyer, making his way through the Dunlop curve now. Nearly 4 tenths up to the first sector, so looks to be a very decent time right here.
Johnny, of course, with 2 podiums in the last 3 races, so he's got decent form coming into this Japanese Grand Prix. Currently 3rd in the standings, looking to close in on Smith as well with the absence of the Ferrari driver.
Exactly, he's been making some gains towards the back half of the season, and he's still in contention for this title fight as we start to wind things down. So needs a good result here tonight, but looking like he's in position for it.
Looking at the standings, we also have VTEC within mathematical chance. I think that maybe there are more than that within mathematical chance, but certainly within realistic mathematical chance, probably only the top 4.
Sure, there's Johnny jumping up into 5th, a 130.6, so just 1/10 separating 5th from 7th right there. Knox, he is not pushing on his lap. Crusty T over a 10th and a half up through the first sector. He's the next driver on a flyer at the moment. Does have a banker time, but he's going to want to improve that here in the final couple minutes of this session.
Yeah, Mercedes will definitely want 2 cars in the top 10 if they can have that. And in fact, Crusty T is almost a full second up on his previous best. That might move him to around P9 on current trajectory. We'll see if he can negotiate the final chicane. Well, he goes a bit wide though for what I would choose. Still crosses. Goes P9 as predicted. Yep. Lost out a bit on his previous best in that last sector though.
Sure, we've got Dirty Slugs. He's going for another lap on this set of softs. This is a U set of tires though, so he's currently in the top 10. So if he does land a top 10 spot with this set of tires, that's going to put him at a bit of a disadvantage to start the race. But you never know. A lot could happen here.
Mafia is actually recovering from a bit of a spin there after his lap was completed there. Hopefully he didn't get in anyone's way. I think Dirty Slugs actually came through when he was well off track, so no issues there.
Ooh, he's gone a bit wide into the gravel at Denyer, and that's going to be very detrimental to his lap. I think we have Kaz going to sector 1 as well. He's yet to set a time, so he's looking to get something on the board for the moment.
I don't think I've ever seen Kaz in a car other than a Ferrari, so the
sure.
man clearly has loyalty. And yes, he's approaching Degner 2. Still valid this lap, so encouraging so far. Yellow flags in front of him though.
Yep, looks
so
like that's
clears up.
Krusty T recovering from that spin in sector 1, so it should be okay for Kaz to finish out this lap.
For sure.
We got Secret coming out of the pits as well. He's the only other driver still in the session not yet to set a time, so he's going to want to do that here. Just a couple minutes remaining. A little bit on the curb through there, but keeps it okay through Spoon. Should be a pretty decent lap here for Kaz.
Krusty T well out of the way there, almost, or in fact off the track completely. Ooh, Kaz with curb through 130R, that's a bit risky.
Does a good job of
the
keeping
brakes
hold of
just
it.
about clips the apex there. It's a bit deep, I thought. Sorry to get talk over.
It's okay. Here's Kaz across the line. He jumps himself up to 12th of 134.1.
Some real problems here for Krusty T. I don't know what's going on, but he's still on that back straight.
Having a bit of issues. His tires aren't not going to like that. But here's K-Dog across the final corner now, finishing up a flying lap from her, and she jumps up to 9th at 31.1. And then Ray as well. He's going to be starting a lap, as is Cat is and Knox just behind. Monkey Mafia starting a lap as well. But it's Call Me Maybe making his Tier 2 debut tonight. He's finishing up another lap going through the final chicane. And across the line.
On board here with Ray. He's doing quite well through the first sector. Almost ran into Kaz actually, but Kaz was off track. There was nothing illegal about that. And now through the Degners, he's 2.5 tenths up, looking quite good here to at least move to the front row, unless Chris Money can improve as well.
We'll have to see.
Nicely negotiates those two pairs of right-handers.
Nobody's been able to top that show the turtle time at 29.5, so we'll have to see if anyone can come close. So he will stay 4th for the time being. Here's Ray. He's only 1.5 tenths up now, but that could still be enough to move him ahead of Chris Money. Into the chicane. And up to the line, looks to be very solid from the Alpha Tower driver.
Yes.
And he's into the 29s. Very solid lap right there. Monkey Mafia is going to be next. He's invalidated, so his session is over. Just Secret next across. No time on the board whatsoever, but he has some pace this season, so you never know what we're going to see from him. Through the chicane and up towards the line. It is going to be 2nd place, a 29.6. A very good time right there from Secret. Still not quite enough. Chris Money finishing up as well. He's marginally up on his time. Let's see what he can land. Also into the 29.9s, but it's not going to be enough. Shelly's going to head into the pits, abandon that lap. I think we have VTech. He's well down on his time. So that is going to be the session. Shelly the Turtle taking pole position. A 29.5, staving off the late threats from Secret and Ray, but I'd say that was a fairly entertaining session to get us started tonight.
Sure was. Shelly the Turtles, I think he only did 1 lap that session, if I'm not mistaken. Proving enough, and Just Secret, only just shy of that time in fact, but it looks like a Mercedes and Red Bull front row. Something we certainly haven't ever seen before.
I would say so, yeah. Should lead for an interesting run down to turn 1, a long run down to turn 1 here in Japan, but not a heavy braking zone, so it might be a bit difficult off the line for these guys. Hopefully they make it through cleanly.
Certainly a risky area to be going side by side, especially on the first lap, even a couple of rows deep. So you got to watch out. You got to keep your wits about you. But hopefully all these guys can make it through there and indeed to the end of the race.
Absolutely, that's something we always want to see here, but the session has drawn to a close. We're going to take one more look at the qualifying order for tonight's race. Shelly the Turtle on pole once again. Just Secret alongside in the Red Bull. Ray is starting third. Chris Money is fourth. Stephen A will start fifth alongside VTech in sixth. Johnny is seventh alongside Monkey Mafia in eighth. Caddis Knox is ninth. K-Dog rounds out the top 10. It's Crustier T in 11th with 30 slugs in 12th. Call Me Maybe 13th. Kaz is 14th. Boy 4 and Silent Banshee round out the field tonight. So it should be an entertaining grid. After seeing qualifying, what do you think we'll see tonight during the race, Jacko?
I mean, it's so difficult to predict from race to race. Different things can happen. If there's no safety car and no weather to speak of, it should be a one-stop, but of course, you can't make any guarantees.
Absolutely. We did see the entirety of the top 10 putting their best times on the soft tire, so should see fairly straightforward from the strategy tonight. And it does look like we have sunny skies here. No monsoons or typhoons coming through this year.
No rubber ducks in the pit lane.
Exactly, that would be a sight to see though. No football in the garage either, but any predictions you got for tonight's race?
Well, I think Shelley looks very good. He looks confident. Especially starting from pole as the de facto championship leader. I think it'd be very difficult to bet against him. But then again, so many talented drivers, so hard to say, but I'm going to put my money on Shelley.
Can't go wrong with that. I'd have to say he's definitely the betting favorite tonight, but Suzuka, a track, different wild card, lots of wild card to say. I think it would be an exciting one from start to finish. 27 laps will be on the boards tonight.
That's right, 27 laps. I think it's 53 IRL, 100%. So they've gone with rounding up on that one. And it's not going to be a particularly long race though in terms of time, because it's quite a fast track, and not quite Monza levels, but still.
For sure.
The duration won't be as long as somewhere like Singapore.
Alright, looks like we're about to get underway for the formation lap tonight. Sorting a few things for Tier 1. And looks like the formation lap will be getting underway. Getting set up. We're going to take one more run through the grid order. Shelly the Turtle will be on pole. Second place will be Just Secret. Ray is alongside in third. Chris Money fourth. Stephen A is fifth. VTech will start sixth. Johnny is seventh. Monkey Mafia eighth. Caddis Knox ninth. K-Dog is 10th. Crustier T 11th, first of the drivers with the free choice, and he's elected to go with the medium tire strategy. A pair of drivers making their debuts tonight, Dirty Slugs and Call Me Maybe, both on the softs. Kaz in 14th, usually elects to go for the alternate strategy tonight. He's elected for the softs in 14th. Boy 4 is 15th, starting on the mediums. And Banshee from the gravel will go with the soft tires for tonight.
Only two mediums from 11th to 16th there. I mean, I would have thought more people would opt for that strategy. And again, if there's an early safety car, it's really quite a bad idea.
Exactly, but the thing outside the top 10, you want to give yourself some sort of advantage over the front runner, so you would still expect to see a couple of guys attempt it, and I think that's what Crustier T and Boy 4 are hoping for. But an early safety car would definitely favor the soft runners for sure.
Shelley warming up the tyres on the grass there. A bit over exuberant, I would have thought.
Yeah, interesting strategy, but he's definitely going to be getting some heat in them that way.
Valtteri's lawn mowing surface.
Exactly, just cutting some grass there. But through the final corner for the formation lap, looks like we're about set to get this race underway. It's going to be Mercedes versus Red Bull down into turn 1. We're gonna have to see how this race plays out. Again, I'm given an angle of the corner of the pit wall, so we're going to track from the grandstands here, at least for the initial getaway. Back of the field up to the stripes.
Given my angle, it's up Shelley's helmet.
And we are all set. 3, 4, and 5 lights here from Japan. And we're off here. It's a good start from Secret on the inside. Shelley did not particularly get away well. There's Ray trying to find an advantage, looking to the inside into turn 1. Chris Money backs out of that. They all make it through. Shelley gets away with the lead. Looking to be okay. There's a car around, and that is, I believe,
Shelley's around, actually.
And Shelley off into the wall as well. So multiple drivers having issues. Monkey Mafia under pressure from Johnny, but that's a Secret who's pulled out into the lead. Ray has hung on to second. Chris Money in third with Stephen A up to fourth. So it was a clean initial getaway, but a bit of drama as they get into the first couple of turns. Both Williams...
That was really difficult to see whether there was any contact. I could not tell from the angle I had.
Exactly,
certainly
yeah.
A weird place to lose it by yourself. Let's just put it that way.
There's K-Dog up the inside of Caddis Knox. We did see one of the Alpha tires, I believe that was VTEC, who had a bit of an issue on the inside of turn 2, but not sure what happened to Shelley there. He's dropped away all the way down to 14th, but already making his way past Kaz, and we know he has the pace to recover from this, so we'll have to track him through this race tonight.
Silent Banshee with a great start, up 6 places already from the back to 10th. A couple of drivers with up 3 positions as well. So, yeah, and in fact, VTEC down 5 positions, as well as Shelley obviously down a lot, 12 positions himself.
I believe VTEC, he did have that issue. I think he caught the curb at the inside of turn 2, but yes, Banshee taking advantage of those soft tires, finds himself up in 10th. Back to the front, Ray is right on the back of Secret as they exit the final chicane. Might have an opportunity down to turn 1.
Yeah, if there was DRS he'd be by already, but it looks like he actually has a bit less downforce, and you go around the outside, that would be very speculative and optimistic. Not quite. He actually tried an over and under, that was very cheeky. Didn't quite work though.
He realized the outside was not going to work, tried to back out and go for the inside, but was not able to work as well. There's
flags. Is that Shelley again facing the wrong way at turn 1?
It is.
It's all gone wrong for the Mercedes driver, the pole sitter.
Yeah, front wing seems okay, but that's still not the ideal start he wanted. Still a long way to go though.
And again spins it. Okay, he needs to calm down at this stage.
Oh, that's Dirty Slugs.
Cool down the tyres.
Dirty Slugs having an issue as well. So Sector 1 already catching out a few more guys. But still a long way to go. There's another driver off. That's Crusher T, the other Mercedes, as well as Silent Banshee, who have had an issue at Denyer 2. So not sure what's happened there.
Yes. They may have come together actually, it looks like.
Yeah, that's a very tight part of the track. Oh, and Dirty Slugs nearly ran into the back of him. That was very close, but I think we've gotten all the collisions out of the way. Hopefully things will start to settle down. We've got a bit of a 5-car breakaway at the front of the field right now.
Kaz took Spoon very wide there. It was almost probably a soup spoon equivalent, and now he's under threat from Boy for Jesus. Blasts past before 130R. So that was a suboptimal line there from the Ferrari.
Yeah, that definitely did not help his case in the fight against Boyford in that battle for 11th.
Come back to the lead though, and it's Ray coming around the outside. This time he's got significant overlap.
Oh, this is going to be close into turn 1.
Going to put his Red Bull. Oh my God, Ray had the presence of mind to back out of that one.
Very intense battle. I'm surprised they both...
Self-preservation at the forefront of Ray's mind, I think, there, because Just Secret was throwing that in there no matter what.
Yeah, that's only on lap 3. I mean, it's important to get away from that lead, but not worth taking yourself out for that position. Very good driving between those two for the moment, though. Monkey Mafia pressuring Stephen A. This is for 4th.
Yeah, in fact, Stephen a bit wide there, taking a little bit of like gravel, perhaps getting some warnings. Both those Wegners look quite wide, so Monkey needs to take a back seat and just wait. Hopefully, for his perspective, a bit of an error from the Alpine ahead.
Yeah, still a long way to go, so no need to force anything from anyone at the moment. Trying to keep an eye on the top 3. They've started to pull away a little bit with Stephen A. having a bit of an issue there. And again, with the DRS being enabled, that's only going to help their case up there.
P3 there, Chris Money in the McLaren put his left front on that curve at the exit of his spoon, and it was very close to sending him into a spin. He backed off a tiny amount and saved it, but you won't want to be doing that too many times.
Yeah, particularly there, that's a very dangerous curb for everyone there. Mafia just not quite
Let's
close
see what
enough.
happens here with DRS this time. Does Ray fly past the Red Bull? It does seem like his setup is a bit more tuned for the straight.
I was going to say, he's got quite the run here. Secret's going to defend to the inside, which is the more powerful line into turn one. Oh, Ray with a very nice switchback, but just not quite able to make it work.
I like this from Ray though, he's being patient. He knows he doesn't need to do it straight away. He's got plenty of laps to do it. Some strategy might come into play as well. Just know that he's got plenty of time to do it, so he doesn't have to rush into it.
Exactly. You see,
Secret though, I don't know, he's very aggressive.
He's made quite a few aggressive defensive moves early, and we have to wonder if that's going to come back to haunt him towards the second half of this race.
Massive understeer for the AlphaTauri, and Chris Money now having a good look at the back of that Honda-powered vehicle.
Thought about a look up the inside there, but backed out of it.
We've got a McLaren off.
That's
That'll be dirty slugs.
Having a bit of issues in Sector 1 again. We've seen that be the trouble spot tonight. We'll see if these drivers can figure it out as we move on towards the second half of the race.
Just want to say before we go any further, it's great to see that those guys who've had errors early on and issues are not just quitting straight away, because there's always the possibility they can come back. As he goes around again, hopefully I don't commentate his cursor, but there's always a chance of a safety car, especially if you're not a lap down yet, and you can always get back into it.
And it's a long race
Very
to go.
instructive to not just rage quit.
You love to see that drivers putting in all their effort here. We did see a couple laps ago, Monkey Mafia did find his way past Stephen A, so that is crucial. But now he's going to have that bit of clean air. See if he can run down the top three who are still going at it into turn one.
Secret knowing where to place his car. Very good car placement, we've got to say that. He's being aggressive, but he's also defending very well. Yeah, two Honda-powered cars going at it at the Japanese Grand Prix. Kind of interesting that that's kind of panned out that way.
I think it's only fitting. I think Vitak into the pits already. Not sure if he's aiming for a very aggressive undercut or he picked up some form of wing damage, but he's gone onto the mediums. So he's going to come out in clean air, so this could pay off for him. That's still a long way to go to see.
Depending on how you drive, those tyres could make it to the end.